One of my favorite things in the world to do is watch Friends. I know it's been off for years and years. It's not even around, but I still find myself binge watching old episodes. And I was thinking about this today and thinking, it's the predictability of the friends in the circle, right? You have Chandler with his quirkiness, Monica with her type A of just everything has to be so neat and tidy and organized. It's Phoebe's ability to make you laugh at her silly songs. Ross always comes in with those smart comments, and Joey and him and his food, like it is just so hilarious. And of course, Rachel, she just brings everybody together, and it's just such this beautiful, cohesive team of people. And it's why I wanted to come on and share with you today that I have an opportunity for you to find your friends in the content creation space. So if you are thinking about creating your first or your next digital course, I don't want you to miss this opportunity because Amy Porterfield just opened the doors for registration for her Course Confident Bootcamp. And I'm actually offering a special bonus for anyone that registers for the Course Confident Bootcamp through my special link. So I want you to go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register. That's crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And what you're going to find when you get there is I have this special bonus private podcast series. It's called Money Mindset for Creators. So I want you to go register for Amy's bootcamp, download the podcast, and immediately start listening to it, because what this training is set up to do is to help you get your mind right about monetizing your content, making money so that you can fuel your content creation dreams. So go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register for Course Confident. And I cannot wait for you to find your friends and find the people that will be there for you. Do you see what I did there? Yeah, nice little friends segue connection. Go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And I cannot wait to see you inside. Okay, let's get into today's episode.
Are you someone that says, I don't have enough ideas? I don't. I'm afraid that I'm going to start a podcast and I have 10 good ideas and then I have no idea what I'm going to talk about after that. Well, then you're in luck, because today's episode is sponsored by my brand new masterclass, The 3 Strategies to Fill Your 2020 Podcast Calendar. So go to crystalprofit.com/masterclass to register, because in this masterclass, I'm going to cover 3 strategies that are totally going to blow your mind. We are actually going to plan the first 6 months of 2020, so you never sit down at your computer and say, what am I supposed to talk about this week? Nope. You're actually going to have from January through June planned out. Like, did you hear what I said? You're going to be able to sit down in January and say, I don't have to plan another podcast episode until the summer, and you're going to be so excited. So come on, join us. Go to crystalprofit.com/masterclass to register today. So I'm super excited to bring you an extra special treat today, because I loved sharing one of my coaching calls recently, and I thought, let's do this again, because I think that everyone found it super helpful to hear some of the questions that brand new podcasters have. So today I'm sharing with you a recent client call that I had with my good friend Amy, and it was just such a great, just so many great questions, because Amy comes from having a blog and transitioning into a podcast. So if that is you, if you already have a established platform and you're transitioning over to a podcast, you're going to find this conversation super helpful, and hopefully we answer some of the questions that you already have But if not, you can always reach out. You should know that by now. But let's dive into my conversation with Amy Connell.
Welcome to the Profit Podcast, where we teach entrepreneurs how to start, launch, and market their podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Profit, and I'm so excited that you're here. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Because if you've been thinking about creating a podcast for a while, well, I'm so glad you found this show. Think of this as the shortcut / time-saving version of searching Google and YouTube for hours and hours trying to figure out the world of podcasting. Trust me, as a busy mama of 3, I get it. You don't have a lot of time to be spent or wasted, I should say, searching the web, trying to find all the right ideas and all the amazing things that are out there, and you just end up overwhelmed. Trust me, I've been there, done that, took home the souvenir. But this podcast is going to help you in practical ways because twice a week we'll be delivering episodes that are going to give you steps to help you create a podcast your audience can't wait to listen to. So let's get right to it, shall we?
So I already kind of introduced Amy in the intro, but I wanted to give you a full background on her because she sent over her bio and I thought it was too funny not to share, and I just love her personality, and she is another Texan. So shout out, Amy. You're so special, and I'm so happy that our paths have crossed. But Amy Connell is a certified personal trainer and has coached fitness classes for 14 years. She also loves dark chocolate and potato chips, but not together. Okay, just know that, not together. Amy founded Grace Health in 2016 to equip and encourage women to find their own balanced health and appreciate and care for their uniquely created bodies, no matter what that looks like. The Graced Health podcast is for women who want simple ways to take care of themselves and age their bodies well. It's full of applicable information and a lot of grace. The health journey and process can be overwhelming, but when we allow ourselves to make choices best for us, we may find the next right step is easier than we think. When she's not doing all the things for Graced Health, you can find Amy walking her pit bull named Grace, enjoying a glass of wine with her husband, or watching her 2 teen boys play basketball. And let me just tell y'all, whenever we did our Zoom call, Amy's got some guns, y'all. This chick, she's got some ripped arms. Like, she is personal trainer BA. You know what that means. You know what that stands for. Okay. Amy is killing it. I'm so proud of her, and I just can't wait to share with you this conversation. So let's just jump right into it. Here's my interview with Amy Connell.
Okay, so we can get going.
Yes, awesome. So I have your podcast plan open. I have the survey. Thank you so much, because that really helps me, because as you can see on the survey, these are all the things that I have helped people with or thought about. And so it really helps me to help you in the best possible way to really, like, let's just zone in. So I notice, like, with your top 3 concerns is the meeting the audience, like, expectations. You know, if you're struggling with, okay, like, I want it to be this amazing thing, but I know, like, I can't please everybody and all that. But I loved your trailer episode. I think that you did this so well, kind of preemptively preparing people for your freebie that you're gonna, like, I was already thinking, like, what kind of exercise plans is she gonna have? Like, I want to see that. So you did that in a really, really good way. Do you have experience with email marketing or doing that in the past?
No, I've been on, so this is the deal. I've been blogging since 2016, May of 2016.
Okay.
And I've been on MailChimp, and I've been on the free plan of MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
All of this, so I think you listened to some of I don't know if you listened to my story or not, but basically so the podcast really is like, I'm just excited to do it, and I'm excited to get word out. And a lot of this really does come from clients and friends and questions and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Secondary business measure is to gain those email subscribers. And I think I heard you say at one point, you've got a book out, so you know the game.
Right.
and, the platform
Yes.
and how important that is.
Right.
So that is kind of secondary to what I'm trying to do. And as I got going with this, I realized that I didn't think that MailChimp was really going to be exactly what I wanted.
Right.
So really what I'm looking for is not necessarily like a technical how-to, but I want to be able to say, like, I listened to your podcast on the difference between episode description and show notes. And I realized, I'm like, oh, I've been saying these wrong the whole time. But what I want to be able to do is say, hey, go click the link in the episode description to go over to the show notes, which leads them to on my website.
Right.
And then when they sign up, on the ConvertKit, not landing page, the
form or something.
Yeah, the form. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm still doing all of the terminology right. So when they sign up on the form, then they get the notes for that day. And I can't quite figure that out because I can get them signed up. And then what I've been doing, and again, I'm only one real episode in, and then I've got 2 in the queue, but I'm doing broadcasts for those because I can't figure out how to get them on my website. And maybe it's just, I need to make it duplicative. But when they sign up, my biggest concern is them signing up on the form. So they hear my next episode, which is 4 ways your body burns calories through movement.
Okay.
And they want to get whatever it is, the notes or whatever. So they sign up. Well, then they're added to the list and then they get the next one. Does that make sense? They don't get the broadcast that just went out because it already went out because it's not on my site.
So what are you including on your site
right now?
Like what, like if you were to put up a podcast episode, like where you're saying this form would be, what page is that you're speaking about?
I don't have, the only thing I have on my site associated with my podcast right now is the podcast tab.
Okay.
Where I have a form that says sign up here to get resources and workouts and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it's just a catch-all, and maybe that's fine. I guess I kind of want to hear, like, how do you do it?
Okay.
Or how do you recommend setting it up? I'm fine with whatever. I just, because I asked ConvertKit, hey, can I get the RSS and delineate between my blog posts and the podcast? Because I don't want to, if people don't want the podcast notes, I don't want to burden them with that. And
right.
their email box, because then they're going to hit that unsubscribe. Right. So there's not a way to do that in ConvertKit from what they told me.
Right.
And I can't. I don't have the time.
I get it. I totally understand. I get it.
That's why I said I follow directions really well. So, like, if you have a great system of doing all this, then anything you recommend, I would love to hear.
Okay. So I kind of go because I come from a blogging background as well. And I love, like, I kind of just tease things in my episode descriptions. I don't put a lot of links in there. I put a few because I want people to go to my website. Like, I want them to see what the episode's about, but I'm trying to drive everything to my website so they will sign up for my email list. So, I can do all kinds of stuff and add value that way. So I don't spend a ton of time on beefing up like episode descriptions because the show notes are where it's at. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So I have everything in my Google Drive. And what I'll do is I have my podcast file. And this is relatively new ever since I started, because I rebranded my podcast. It was something totally different. And when I started the Profit Podcast, this is when I essentially started this system, and it's taken me a while to tweak it. And it's going to seem like too much. And I understand that, but it is what works for me. And it is what has helped me with my SEO for my website. So let me go down to, I actually just recorded these today. Or actually, this is the episode that came out today. So what this is essentially my outline. And I don't fully script my podcast episodes, but I kind of do. I don't type these out, which is like my little life hack. Like, I do not sit down and type all of these out. I go to tools and I turn on the voice typing, and I just kind of speak into, and it populates everything. So it kind of is a messy blog post whenever it's done, but it helps me get the ideas out of my head. Like you can see it says how to launch a podcast dash. Like it's not pretty whenever it's done, but it at least helps me get out the big ideas that I want to cover. And then when I sit down to record, I kind of have it, but then I go off script and I'll add a personal story or a personal spin to it. And then I just recently started really making sure I had these subheadings and different things in here with my keywords, as you would with a blog. And then I take all of this whole outline, and make it look like I've fixed, all the spelling and all the errors. And then so on my site, this is the audio file that is from Buzzsprout. And again, this is the podcast description. So this is part of what Buzzsprout pulls in. So it's another reason why I don't go too overboard with the podcast descriptions, because I don't want that to be too much here. But that's what all of this is. This is my outline. And then I make it pretty, and I make it look like a blog post essentially. But then I also have my free podcast bootcamp. This is my lead magnet, and it is what I have for every single podcast episode, and I mention it in every single episode. So my question to you is,
do you
go ahead.
As a footer, as a template in your are you on WordPress or?
Yeah, I'm on WordPress.
Or do you like automatically add that in?
Being a woman in business comes with its own unique set of challenges, but also so many opportunities. We get ahead by leaning in to what makes us different from business as usual. I'm Samantha Hartley, host of Profitable Joyful Consulting, inviting you to a special 6-episode series exploring the experience of being a woman in business. You want to hear from women consultants who've hit $1 million, who sell 6-figure engagements, or who've broken their own revenue ceilings? Yeah, those are my clients, and they'll be sharing too. Join me for 6 must-listen episodes that tackle key challenges for women consultants. Follow Profitable Joyful Consulting on your favorite podcast app.
So what I do, what I used to do is I used a template, and then now are you on WordPress?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll have to think of what the plugin is, but there's one that lets you clone posts. And so if I'm going to create, I can just do it right now. So this is, an active post on my site. I can just click copy to a new draft, and it will literally have everything that was on there. And then I'll just go in right here.
Okay.
No, I don't think it did it.
Ooh, what's Themify Builder? Sorry,
Oh no, that's fine. That is my Themify is my theme for my website, and it is what allows you to do the drag and drop. Hang on a second. I want to see if it didn't clone that one, but you see this right here?
Yeah.
It allows me to clone a post.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. What is the name of
Clone
that?
And then you update it with you.
Right, with the new one. So it will automatically have so let me show you this right here. If you go into this one, down at the bottom, I have like links mentioned, and I have subscribe here. If you come down right here, it says don't miss future episodes. Mm-hmm. And then it has my Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, or whatever it is. Like it just automatically has this information right here. So, because I want those in every single episode. I want a place for someone to subscribe, and I want to have my freebie in every single episode. But it also helps keep the format the same for all the posts.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you set this up, because you basically, it's crystalprofit.com/episode 92.
Right. Mm-hmm. Switch this back.
So in WordPress, when you do that, are you, I'm trying to figure out how to word this correctly. Are you you're just going in there creating a page. That's not a post.
It's a post. It's a post. Let me show you exactly how this is, because I actually had someone tell me that's like an SEO person there, because previously this said episode 91 or whatever up here on the title. And then somebody was like, you don't need to do that. You need to just change the URL slug right here.
Oh, okay.
To whatever, like this would be episode 92. Okay. And then I would click save. And then that is how you get around. So yeah, it is a post. It's not a page, but you can have your title be whatever you want it to be. But you can see up here, it says episode 92. That's the link that this post lives at.
Okay. Now, do you have this go out automatically to people who have signed up from one thing or another?
Oh, let me switch on this. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. And that's what I was going to say, like, for you saying, like, sending out the RSS feed and everything, that sounds like a lot of extra work that's going to stress you out, because with you saying that, like trying to set up the ConvertKit and then the RSS feed, my suggestion would be, do you send out a newsletter already?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I do for my blog.
Okay.
And the blog the blog is just, the podcast is just an extension of the blog.
Okay.
But again, I'm trying to find that balance of like pinging people so they remember me.
Right.
Not being like, I cannot handle another email from Amy Connell.
Yes.
Unsubscribe.
So I'm going to show you, because I have ConvertKit. I love ConvertKit. Oh my gosh. It's just been a game changer. I want to show you how I do this, because I'm the same way. I like my newsletters to be almost like a pen pal. Like I'm sending, just like, hey, it's not super formal. It's very casual. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Yeah. My last one was about having coffee with Alanis Morissette. So let me see. Where is it? Okay.
And when you do your newsletters, are you using those as broadcasts from ConvertKit? So yes. You live on your website anywhere?
They don't live on my website. It is completely new content. So like for here, what I like to do in my newsletter is I will share something that is just totally random. Honestly, it's just something that I try to connect with my audience in different ways, because these are the kind of emails that I like to open, and it is what my audience, like what they really resonate with. So I will write all of this, and none of this really has anything to do with my content necessarily. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but I put my content in the PS at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you could do is, you could have your blog post go out, or you could have, however you end up doing it for your audience, but you could just say like, PS, don't forget to check out the latest episode of the podcast, because there's a new episode every, Tuesday or whenever it goes out.
Right.
So that would be my suggestion to get around that. I think that having the RSS feed is going to be, it's going to be really tricky. And I don't even know, like you said, if it's doable after talking to ConvertKit, but I do think what you could do as you put out more content, you could have a welcome sequence that says, hey, I see like you're interested in starting this health journey or letting me help you on this health journey. Here are the top downloaded episodes. And these have really resonated with some people. And I think that it could help you too. Or maybe it'll give you some encouragement or something. And you could do that. Like you could, have an image, and then you click on the image and that goes straight to that episode on your website, or, on Apple iTunes, whatever you want it to do. But that would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Y'all, that was so good. I just knew that you were going to enjoy this conversation that we had, because she had so many great questions that if I was starting from scratch, like I had no audience, I would have never thought to think of, but because she was transitioning kind of she still wants to blog, but she's trying to like merge the two worlds together, and she wasn't sure exactly what that would look like. It was just such a great conversation. So I hope you found a lot of value out of everything that we chatted about today. But that does it for this episode. So if you are brand new to the podcast, I encourage you to subscribe and hear some of the awesome things that we have coming up in the next few episodes. Make sure to leave us a rating and a review wherever you're listening to this, and share it on social media. Take a screenshot and then tag me. I am at Crystal Profit TX. That's Crystal with a K, Profit with 2 F's and 2 T's, and then TX like Texas, because I'm a proud Texas girl. And I would love for you to come hang out with us. Follow us on social media and take a screenshot wherever you're listening to this and share it out, because sharing is caring. And it's that time of year, guys. Like, it's around the holidays. Like, let's share this out for the rest of the world. Let this podcast be the gift that keeps on giving. That was so corny. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, moving on. You can check out the show notes for Amy's episode at crystalprofit.com/episode 104. And that's all I have for y'all today, guys. Like, be sure to sign up for the masterclass that we have coming up. It's crystalprofit.com/masterclass. And that is all about the 3 strategies that you can use to fill your 2020 calendar. So if you're struggling with content ideas, make sure you sign up for this masterclass. You do not want to miss it. If you're listening to this podcast at a later time after the air date, then I'm sorry, you've missed out. But you can still head on over to crystalprofit.com and check out some of the other cool tools and resources that we have there. But that's it. So remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.
Hey, Profit Podcast listeners, thanks for sticking around to a little bit after the episode to hear this special message, because I want to hear from you. We are starting a new segment called Fan Mail Shoutouts, and I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your questions. What do you want to know? What questions have you been dying to ask me? So here's how to make this happen. Go to the app where you're listening to this podcast right now. Go there. I'll wait a second. Okay. Now, once you're there, you're going to see a hyperlink at the top of the episode description that says, send Crystal a text message. And that's all I want you to do. Send me a text. It could be casual, informal. It could be totally anonymous. Or if you want, you can include your name and the name of your podcast or content wherever you are creating, and I will give you a special shout out in an upcoming episode. So again, go to the show notes for where you're listening to this episode right now, and it will say, send Crystal a text message. And I cannot wait to hear from you and give you a shout out in an upcoming segment of Fan Mail Shoutouts.